Welcome everybody to episode number 25, Straight Talk Commerce Podcast. We are without our third wheel today. Ian's off with the family. Maybe it's at some special secret TED Expo or doing something.
We don't know where Ian is.
Yeah.
No, we shouldn't pretend. We don't know. We have no idea where Ian is.
Right, but he has been appearing in the comments. So I think, when people comment, Wayne, when you share we just discussed a little later, people may be able to, kind of interact with Ian and get some feedback from him on whatever he's doing.
I would like to turn that into a game, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay. We have little over 9,000 subscribers, Dave, and in a very short period of time, less than 6 months. And one of those subscribers is about to be made, get some prizes here, okay? A comment was made, and I'm not going to tell people what video it was. We have 320 some pieces of content with Straight Talk Commerce on it. But one of the comments was baby with a beard. The first person, which, by the way, I found absolutely hysterical. I think, as you will attest, I called you immediately, thinking it was someone we knew. We can't pinpoint who made the comment. Doesn't really matter. It is hysterical. And so I want to do two things. Number one, I want people to beat that comment. Okay. I don't want that to be the funniest comment that I've ever seen on the internet. I would like for people to beat that. That's number one. Number two, the first of our subscribers or the first person to comment with a link to the video it was on, linking that video to this video, is going to win. Tell them, Dave, what are they going to win?
Well, a bit of 1-year Witty membership that's now $300, $297. Will be going up at the end of the year to $497. And but it's priceless, really, all the value you get.
Well, we're about to talk about some more extra value that they'll be getting. So that anybody in the e-commerce business is going to be elated to have this prize.
Right, totally. Now, before we kick off the session, because we have some great topics to talk about today, we do have a special guest coming in.
Oh, good.
I mean, some of the listeners may have heard of the famous Hooman Kahllil, who's just, war going on in Israel. I'll just fly right in, no problem. But because he's committed to hanging the banners, the murals in Israel, it's amazing and inspiring what Hooman's doing. Hooman, welcome back from your latest trip.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be on the greatest podcast of all time.
That's it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hooman, have you been watching our growth?
Well, I hear you guys have 90,000 followers. Is that right?
Well, 9,000. See, Dave,
okay.
9,000. Hey, look, man, our subscribers are small but mighty.
Yes, no, I heard that. I just want to, do you guys reference other things that we're a part of on this show ever?
Sure. You can share whatever you
want.
That
Civil Discourse was the very best one. That was the very best anything metal related thing I had ever been a part of. Praise the Lord.
And not even metal related. That was more.
Oh, it's not even metal related.
It used to be. It's not anymore.
I'd say though it's witty and Odyssey adjacent now. So we'll see what happens in the future of that. But it was great.
So what were you guys talking about? Because obviously I have a lot of things I want to talk about, but what were you guys talking about?
Today's topics we're just about to announce. We're talking about a special giveaway. We're talking about some things, but two topics we'll be covering. One is automating e-commerce drop shipping business. Just there's so many things you can do now, ways to streamline that and everything else. And then we'll be talking about what they do not tell you about online marketplaces, right? When you look at Etsy, when you look at eBay, you can create your own. You can have an Amazon store. there's just a lot of different ways to go with your product. So both of these are kind of intertwined and related.
How about politics? We're going to talk politics?
We are not talking.
Yeah. Hey, Hooman, you know, one of the things, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the great things about this country is that we have been convinced that we cannot be, you know, that we are not supposed to talk about religion or politics. That's one of the great things. Everybody can have their own opinion, but you can't talk about that opinion.
Apparently.
So yeah, we for David's sake, we keep that conversation to a very bare minimum. Let me explain to hold on, Dave. Let me explain to Hooman why the prize and why we're giving away the prize. He will appreciate this more than probably anybody else. So we have 300 pieces of content that's out on the internet right now, Hooman. And one of our fantastic subscribers that we shall remain nameless. I mean, I have tried to find out who this person is, made a comment on one of the pieces of content that one of us, me, Ian Slade, or David Layton, was a baby with a beard.
Sounds like Gary. Was that Gary?
I don't know who it was, and I don't know who they were taking the shot at. I could guess, but I just found that was a hilarious, a hilarious comment,
yeah,
and should be rewarded. But then I didn't want to reward them. I want to reward someone who finds the comment and links it to this piece of content right now, the one that we're talking about.
Right.
And I'll say one other thing, Dave. The reason that we picked these subjects tonight, and we're going to need to get into it, because a lot of people, a lot of our subscribers jump into an Etsy, jump into a Shopify, jump into a WooCommerce business, not knowing that there are ancillary, there are other charges that they're going to be responsible for. And so they go in poorly funded, and they need to understand that, look, you've got to save some budget. You've got to be able to market. You've got to be able to promote yourself. And we want to give you fair warning prior to opening that Shopify store, how to what kind of charges are going to be asked of you. And then on top of that, we want to give them a way of automating that store to where they don't have to mess with it every minute of every day. I run 13 separate businesses, and the way that I'm able to do that is via automation, being able to automate the stores that I do have where I'm not having to go in and physically do things every single day. There you go. I have yet to meet a person that has one Shopify store for very long. They always have multiple. WooCommerce. I've met many people with a WooCommerce store, but guess what? A year later, they have multiple WooCommerce stores because the principles across the board remain the same. If you can be successful with one, you can be successful in many different down markets.
Does it matter that I don't know one single thing that or understand anything you guys are talking about? I'm not an expert
That's why you're
in this.
here. Yeah, that's why you're here. Now, I want to know what's going on. 18 murals, right? 18 murals have gone up.
Hey everyone, my name is Hooman, and I'm the producer and designer of the Women Life Freedom Murals here in Israel. The mural behind me is my 13th mural in Israel. And according to the Jews, this is the bar mitzvah of Israel, right here. The bar mitzvah of murals. This is a mural showing the helicopter of Raisi, the former president of Iran. And what you have here are all the women Raisi is responsible for murdering. And what is this? This is the hair. Because in Iran, they kill the women for showing their hair. So all of the dead women, all of their hair is pulling down Raisi's helicopter. Over here, you have a Bible.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so back in, November of 2022, by the grace of God, I miraculously met the vice mayor of Jerusalem. She said, I want Women Life Freedom Murals in support of the women of Iran and Israel. We want to show the world that we Jews are standing with the freedom fighting women of Iran. I said, great. January 9th, the first mural went up, 2023. So I'm a Christian. I had a bunch of people praying over me. They said prophetically 18 murals. That's what we're hearing from God.
Wow.
On October 28th, 2024, I put up my 18th mural. First one was in Jerusalem. The last one's in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And
name some of the places other than Jerusalem. Let's name some of the places that have these murals. Where can people go see them?
So the southern tip of Israel, there's a city called Eilat, E-L-I-A-T. And I think I came online with you guys. And when you're standing on the beach there,
Get live.
yeah, you can see Jordan, you can see Saudi Arabia, and you can see Egypt, all from the shores of Israel.
Yeah.
I have a couple murals in Tel Aviv. I have 2 murals in a city called Netanya, which is north of Tel Aviv. I have one at the University of Haifa. I have one in the holy city of Sfat. It's spelled T-Z-F-A-T. And Sfat is the birthplace of Kabbalah. I have one in a town called Matea Yehuda. I have one in Mevaseret. These are small towns outside of Jerusalem. I have one at the Elvis Presley Diner. I have one in Nazareth, Jesus' hometown. Praise the Lord.
That is crazy. That is absolutely, anyone that knows that area of the world and actually can appreciate what it is you're doing. And by the way, if you haven't seen these murals, we're gonna have a link so you'll be able to go and take a look at all of these murals. These are not flowers, and these really poke a finger in the eye of people in power. I mean, wouldn't you say that?
Amen. Yeah, no, really upsets the Islamic regime of Iran. I have one in a city called Emek Hefer, which is near Netanya and Nazareth. Let me just see. So I think that's kind of a good overview.
Yeah, but you also have one in Berkeley, right? In Northern California?
I do.
Yeah.
I have one in Berkeley and I have one in LA, 3 blocks away from where the world famous Los Angeles Lakers play.
Yes, and they wouldn't where Michael Thompson was a big star. You know, apparently Human's more familiar with Clay Thompson since he's up in the Bay Area. But
yeah, right now I'm in Dallas. I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Miles stomping grounds. Shout out to Texas.
I mean,
there are a bunch of Waynes running around there, Huma.
Oh yeah.
That's why he's so happy. Look how happy he is.
I'm gonna tell you, I mean, it's way different being here than California. I mean, you want to be in the land of the free? It's here.
Yeah.
This is the land of the free. But yeah, so I'm just figuring out what's next.
That's amazing. Now tell us, because I know when you put up murals in the US, they just really didn't get much publicity. You know, there's not really, I don't know, as much of an impact that the ones in Israel made. What, now that you've done the 18th, first of all, how was that event specifically? Because we're going to have you come in and speak to the Witty community in a week or two. I am going up there for your 50th birthday. I'm looking forward to seeing you next Saturday.
Thank you, Wayne. You better be there, bro.
Get off that couch. Unfortunately, I cannot be there, and I was hoping that we would be able to get through this conversation without. I was going to talk to you privately about that, but thanks a lot, Dave.
I need you there, Wayne.
I know, and look, I really need to be there. Frankly, I really need to be there.
I invited 1,200 people.
That is nuts.
I thought I was special.
If you wanna invite your community, your 9 million followers, then you should let them know about my birthday. They can all come.
And we'll be in the Bay Area, so I'd say if anybody's up there, just hit us up. We'll,
Right?
definitely send you an invite.
You guys are saying this tongue in cheek, but I will have you know, and by the way, we totally appreciate this. If you see one of us walking around and you recognize us, do not hesitate to come up and say hello. Ian Saturday was walking his dog, and a
Oh,
lady
it's the
ran up to
farmer's
him.
market. The farmer's
Right.
market.
And at farmer's market, and a woman recognized him from the Straight Talk Commerce show and gave him a water, gave him Pellegrino, and said, look, I love what you're doing. Wayne is an absolute genius, and we are so blessed to have him speaking to us every week. And I couldn't agree more.
And most of that story is free. There was part that was fake news. I'll let you guess.
No fake news. I'm sure she wanted to say all of those things. She said some of that.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core. Experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with workforce innovation, trust, and influence. Visit Witty.com and become a member today.
David, if I send you the link to my birthday, do you want to put it in the chat so people can come or no?
Yeah, well, look, we could certainly put it in there. Wayne's got the Wayne
just
has
sent it
the
to you. I
There will be
texted
a
it.
link in the description of this video to your birthday. You have my word.
The 50th. I'm turning 50, everyone.
Dude, that's
I remember way back when I was 50.
I started dating a girl in Israel.
Yeah,
It's kind of a big deal for me.
Right. That's
So
right.
it's so funny. I'm here in Texas for a conference, and I just looked through my LinkedIn to see who was here, like who could I have dinner with tonight. And this one guy who like I've literally just been friends with for 24 years, lo and behold, left the Bay Area overnight, now is in Dallas, had dinner with him, and he's like, I held on too long. I honestly thought San Francisco was gonna come back, and am I allowed to talk about this or no?
certainly.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay. And he's like, it's just not coming back. He goes, it's so far from coming back. He goes, I just had to get out of here. He said, I didn't have a going away party, nothing. I just packed up my car, got this job in Texas, and moved.
Yeah, there are certain places. Tracy and I were very concerned, about that as well. In the area we have kids. One's graduating soon, so we'll be doing the same exact thing, trying to find a. Look, you have to be in a place that fits you, and allows for your economic freedom. We're all about that here. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, and Wayne, I don't know if you know that, Hooman was a big deal on the radio in the Bay Area for many, many decades. As a matter of fact, I was hanging out with him, and then, our mutual friend goes, Hooman Kahllil, I used to listen to you every day. I guess I didn't realize how famous he was.
Well, I got news for you. Hooman is a big deal regardless. Radio, TV, podcasting, whatever. Hooman is a very big deal. But look, guys, we've got to get to this or we're never going to get to it.
All right, go ahead. Talk about commerce.
Feeling isolated and disconnected? You're not alone. Many men struggle to find a community that truly understands them. Introducing Odyssey, a place where fellowship and brotherhood thrive. Join us on a journey of personal growth and meaningful connections. At Odyssey, we believe in the power of brotherhood. Our community fosters brotherly connections that last a lifetime. We come together to serve our communities and make a difference. Hear from those who have transformed their lives with Odyssey. Odyssey gave me the brotherhood I was missing. I found other business leaders and entrepreneurs who share my values. Together, we make a real impact in our community. Odyssey is more than a group, it's a brotherhood. Join us and discover the power of true fellowship. Take the first step towards a more connected and fulfilling life. Odyssey, where fellowship, business, and brotherhood unite. For more information, go to yte.com.
Good luck. So let's talk about, though, drop shipping, e-commerce, right? I think that is where people get stuck, hidden costs, not adding shipping and handling to your orders. You know, what we've seen in COVID is just the supply chain, right? You have to know, you have to have plan A, plan B. So Wayne, do you want to dig a little bit into this first one about just automating, sourcing and inventory management?
Well, look, one of the things that I learned very, very quickly, especially starting a business during COVID, was shipping times. The entire world shut down. We're all familiar with that. The entire world shut down shipping. Containers, people didn't go to work. Containers sat in the port of Long Beach. They sat, all across the country. No goods and services for several weeks. They did not travel. They didn't go anywhere. So what you're trying to do is automate that process for yourself especially when you're drop shipping, when you're relying on a shipper to get your good, to get your electric goods. That's one thing. You get it immediately. It's not an issue. But if it's t-shirts, if it's camping supplies, if it's any other type of product, and you're not on the Amazon has their own, it's its own environment. So if you have an Amazon store, you're pretty much okay. But if you're out there on your own, you have a Shopify store, you have you're using Oberlo or Dropify, you're using Inventory Source. Inventory Source is a very good way of overcoming this issue. It's a little bit pricey. So what I tell you is you need to build up your business to a certain point where you are profitable before you go to a secondary inventory source type store or Oberlo or Dropify, because there are fees that are associated with overcoming that issue for you.
Yeah. And how do you just put a lot of that? First of all, thank you, Hooman, for being with us tonight. We will see you later.
You guys are the greatest.
Later,
the greatest podcasters of all time.
Stay
Couldn't agree
tuned.
with you more.
Round 2 of Wayne versus Fred happens tomorrow night. So try to chime
Man,
in for some.
I'm gonna miss it. I'm so sad.
No, tune in. Be there, be square.
Oh well. All right, guys.
Hi, brothers.
Well, here's how it helps, Dave. Here's how it helps you. Okay. If there is let's say that you get something happens, you're running a t-shirt business and one of your t-shirts catches fire. Or you have an ad that absolutely just blows up and you get a lot of orders. Now, you have one of two choices. You can either fill each one of those orders yourself, or you can use Oberlo's Dropify, you can use Sprocket, you can use one of these services that will fulfill that order for you. So it helps with order fulfillment. Now, there's a cost associated with that, generally around $45-50 a month. And so it's a monthly cost when you don't have those things. That's why I'm saying be cautious when you use these. That way you don't have $90 to $200 in app costs while you're trying to build a business.
Yes, exactly. So I think please.
It also helps. Let's say that you're drop shipping and you have 60,000 products, like my adult store. Okay. You have 60,000 products that are available to people. Well, updating the pricing from 3,000 manufacturers would be a very difficult task if I didn't have a company like Inventory Source that would automatically update those prices for me on all of those products. it would automatically calculate the taxes for where it was being shipped to. These things really save a lot of time, Dave. And it also takes away a little bit of the liability from you as well. Because if you go through one of these, let's say you go through Oberlo, let's say that you go through Dropify. If as long as everything is set correctly on your end, if there's a mistake, they're the ones that are going to be responsible should something massive happen. And for a brand new business, that can be the matter of life and death.
Yes, and what I'd like to do, because you talk about these things like Oberlo, Dropify, Spocket, like people know what the hell you're talking about. Some may, some might not, but I think this is what would, as we have the weekly e-commerce session, we can dig into some of those, invite some of the product managers,
Right.
figure out
Well,
what's
that's-
right for you, what's not. What are your growth plans, right?
Yeah. So
'Cause these things, listen,
it's a very good
automation,
point.
right? Automation is available,
Yeah.
and you have to really know where you're going to get there. And you might start it at Oberlo and then grow big enough where you get into a Dropify, but vice versa. But I think those are some of the things we want to help with.
It's a very good point. And look, that's exactly why we're doing this piece of content. Okay, because the people that are coming into this type of business, you're right, are at a very basic. Most of them are at a very basic level. Now, I'm throwing out these terms: Oberlo, Dropified. You do your homework and find out what those things are. You're going to very quickly realize, oh man, I need help setting this up. I need help with getting the most out of all of these programs. Okay, Oberlo, for example, it's a very good inventory management system for people that are on the Shopify store. Okay, I have a Shopify store. Now, that's what you need to come to our e-commerce. You get e-commerce lessons, okay, $20 a month, as opposed to paying hundreds of dollars a month to have someone train you and teach you in how to do all of this. Right now, in the sound of people listening to this, we have people in our audience, David, that have spent $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 to be taught how to run one of these stores, when in reality, $20 a month paying for a Witty membership, that would actually be a much easier and a much better way of learning it. Because we go in, we teach you how to do this. You have a one-on-one or a 1-on-10 instructor that's going to give you the example live right in front of you and help you solve your issues.
Absolutely. And then, and just setting up that automated order fulfillment, right? So managing the list, getting the commerce set up, automating the order fulfillment, so you don't even have to see it, especially depending on the product that you're building. Is it individual? Is it a digital product? Right. We'll probably have Camille come on as our guest to talk about what he's doing in the fragrance space. He's got a garage filled with fragrances. I'm sure, which he has different ways. Look, but that's something that he acquired those because he's, brothers with the famous Jeremy fragrance, right? So, but look, should all those be in an Amazon warehouse somewhere? Now, would he pay extra fees on that? Of course he would, but I think these are all things that just have to be balanced.
Well, all right, that's another question, Dave. I worked for a company right before going off on my own where we held our fulfillment. We used Amazon to fulfill. So we would send a container to Amazon. Amazon would store and fulfill the orders that came into us, until one day they didn't. And when we found out why, and the why was there was someone at Amazon that sold all of our products sitting in their warehouse themselves on their own store. And so Amazon was very happy to give us our cost back. They replaced the product, gave us the money for the product, but what they didn't give us was the profit we were going to make in selling it. And so these are things you need to understand as you go in. Let's say that you decided you're going to go into a Amazon. You're going to open an Amazon store. Okay. Well, your drop shipper, your supplier has to get you the product to be stored in Amazon. So
thanks for coming to today's Zoom meeting. Let's break the ice by starting with a bad joke. A minister, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a bar. The bartender says to the rabbit, "What can I get you?" "I don't know, I'm just here because of autocorrect."
That is unacceptable, horrible.
You upset the baby.
That was as boring as your Zoom background.
People will think that I'm smart if I have books on a shelf behind me.
But I think one title is Green Eggs and Ham. Another one is Winnie the Pooh.
They were real nail biters.
If you subscribe to the Adobe Creative Suite, use Photoshop and Midjourney, you have all the tools to create great backgrounds. Like this one. I created the background in Midjourney, drew the birds in Illustrator, made them fly in Adobe Animate, and saved it as an MP4.
Companies can create a library of backgrounds for all their official Zoom interactions.
Does anyone want to hear another joke?
It is getting late.
You can buy great backgrounds now or join Zoomback Pro and create your own. Go to zoomback.pro for more info.
So once that happens, you've got to then take and use their system, tie it into your system, letting you know how many products landed, what the price of each one of those products was, reprice it with your taxes and all of your profit in it, right? And then the reverse needs to happen, because when you sell one of those products, now it goes out at a different price. Now it has different taxes that are getting paid on it. And now you're tracking it in the opposite direction to your customer. So what can you make a ton of money doing a drop shipping store or opening a store on Amazon? You're damn right you can. You can make a lot of money doing it. But it's time consuming unless you have ways of automating it. And once you've got it set up, it automates. These type of businesses automate beautifully.
And is there insurance you can get on those, or so you
100%.
guys just got the product back, but there's all the time and effort? I mean, you couldn't claim that as a loss as well?
Of course, but you also have to know how to do that as well. And many suppliers are going to help you in that process. Many suppliers that are into drop shipping and are drop shipping friendly are going to walk you through the process of getting signed up with them, getting approved, right? Tracking the incoming orders, processing those orders, giving you back the invoices, and being able to help you match back those things back up. And where the slip could be in delivery. Okay. Well, FedEx may be your delivery method. The post office may be your delivery method. So you may have things that you need to think about when it comes to delivering from your drop shipper or from your drop shipper to your final destination customer. I have drop shipped extremely expensive items, and you are doggone right that they were insured, and because one slip and you're out of business. You have a solar system, you have a furniture that you're drop shipping somewhere, and that gets lost, broken, or stolen. There needs to be a way of making the end, you whole. Your customer isn't going to just forget they ordered it.
No, totally. I think they've been probably more forgiving during COVID, right? Because, things happen, but I think now we're kind of back on track, and with technology, and just look how spoiled people are with Amazon. They expect everybody to be like that.
Yes and no. Yeah. I mean, to answer your question, yes and no. I mean, look, a lot of people, just like we talked about last week with Starbucks, and I want to apologize to Starbucks. Their coffee does not taste like pond water. That was mean of me to say. But what I will say to you is, just like Starbucks, just like Walmart, just like people have a problem dealing with big box stores and big chains. They would rather deal with mom and pop. So the people that are listening to this, one of the benefits of going into a Shopify store, doing a mom and pop, a small Etsy store, is you're not Amazon, you're not Costco, you're not Walmart. And people are going to be more inclined of working with you if you can prove that you're not out to make a quick buck. If you are all about customer service, that is a feature, not a bug.
Totally. And then, Wayne, email, right? Email marketing campaigns. I mean, I've certainly seen, we've had kind of the Constant Contacts and the MailChimps, and, SendGrid is one. You mentioned a few earlier that I had not heard of. I'm seeing a bunch of new ones with AI coming out. How do you, right? Because I think it's two things. I think some companies may have been around for a while and just have kind of a legacy list.
Yep.
So then you got to figure out how do you send that and the rules and blah, blah, blah. And then building a new list. And maybe these are two different things. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah. So look, you've got Apollo.io, you have Klaviyo, you have MailChimp, you have Drip. All of these are email repositories. You put an email list in, you can have AI write an email that's a good sales email for you. You can use AI is also in there to help you determine who's a customer and who's not a customer. So it makes it very, very easy to advertise to the right person cheaply. And if anyone out there wants to know whether AI is good at determining who your customer is, all they have to do is look to Straight Talk Commerce, because we are using AI to present these pieces of content to people who like them and who will subscribe for more. So in the last 28 days, 3,300 people have joined us and have subscribed to our channel, Dave. And it's because we are targeting people who want to hear us talk to them about the ins and outs of e-commerce. So it's real. Automating these things is a real thing, whether it's gathering customers, whether it is inventory support, whether it is tracking your shipping. AI is here to stay. It will help you sell more. It will help you track those sales. It will help you gather more customers. Those things, and by the way, it will help you with customer service, which we'll talk about next. So you can increase your sales opportunities, nudge people who are on your website earlier, or maybe they bought something from you a while back. The way it used to work is you would have to pour through lists of your former customers, find out what you had in your inventory that was, you had too many of what in your inventory, right? You create a sale from that. Now, all of those steps are done for you. And by the way, they're correct. You have a very small chance of making a mistake if you use these tools.
Training with Radio Hall of Famer Gary Meyer on podcasting, public speaking, and radio announcing offers numerous benefits that can significantly enhance your skills and career prospects. Gary's extensive professional experience provides a wealth of knowledge and practical insights, particularly in engaging and retaining an audience. For podcasting, this includes mastering the tone of voice, pacing, and the strategic use of humor and emotion to create a strong personal connection with listeners. In public speaking, Gary emphasizes authenticity, clarity, and confidence, teaching techniques such as effective body language, eye contact, and vocal modulation to ensure your message resonates deeply. His insights into audience psychology help you read and respond to real-time reactions, making your speeches impactful and memorable. For radio announcing, Gary's training focuses on developing a rich, expressive vocal presence that conveys personality and warmth, essential for creating a vivid mental picture for listeners. This includes technical aspects like voice modulation, pitch control, and timing, along with practical advice on script preparation and handling live broadcasts. Gary's training includes real-world simulations, providing hands-on experience and personalized feedback to refine your skills. Additionally, networking opportunities with industry professionals and fellow trainees can open doors to new possibilities and collaborations. Gary's comprehensive programs cover content creation, audience analysis, narrative construction, and retention strategies, ensuring a thorough understanding of all aspects of these fields. He also emphasizes personal growth, building self-confidence and resilience, and offers insights into the business side, including monetization and branding strategies. Gary Meyer's training equips you with the tools, confidence, and connections needed to excel in podcasting, public speaking, and radio announcing. Contact Gary on LinkedIn today to get started.
Yeah. Totally. But right, Wayne, so you mentioned chat bots and then just automated voice stuff, right? That stuff has gotten so much better, dude. It used to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
well, right.
it
Well,
used,
Fargo, Verizon. Oh God, I want to kill Verizon, right? Because you know it was such a fail, and some companies are still a fail as far as right, but some it's like I'd rather chat with a audio with a chatbot voice, or even chatbot on the web because it can just direct me right to where I need to go and power to. How have you seen that technology, you know, come up and how are you
well,
implementing it now?
it's look, that's a great question, and I cannot wait to answer it. So sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, but look,
No, you're good.
some of my stores, I rely very heavily on chat bots. They serve a very, very good purpose. The amount of incoming calls has decreased, and the amount of customer satisfaction for my survival store has gone exponentially up. People really enjoy the suggestions that and they never miss, by the way, Dave. So if someone comes on a Black Hawk Survival and wants to buy a tent, I give them suggestions to 4 or 5 other products of mine that they are actually going to be interested in. So it's raised my revenue. It's raised the amount of sale. Now, there are some companies, though, that I do this, and I probably will never have a chatbot associated with it. They have very specific questions, and it does not help. They don't want to talk to someone that's automated. They want to talk to someone, a real human being. They've got real questions, and so you will know that about your company. You will know when it's okay to put in a chatbot, and it will serve its purpose. You will also know when all these comments are coming in and they're negative and people are frustrated with you because you use the wrong chatbot. You use the wrong customer service tool, okay? At that point, I urge you, at that point, you start getting those comments, take that chatbot out, replace it with a human being, whether it's you, probably needs to be you, but replace it with someone who actually knows what they're doing, and do not ruin the customer will, the goodwill that you have built up with your customers, because it is very, very difficult to get that back once you've lost it. People will rave about you when you do the right thing. They will tear you to shreds when they feel that you've wronged them in some way.
Totally. So how do you stay on top of these things, Wayne? Because it seems like it changes all the time and new tech's coming out every day.
So look, I have reviews on my websites all the time. I pay very, very close attention. I respond to 99.9% of them. Sometimes it slips through, but I will respond, whether it's thank you for your business, but I will read through every single one of these comments that people are making. It's my business. It's just like if you said something about one of my children, Dave, I want to know what you thought of this interaction or that interaction. And when I start seeing a heavy amount of negative comments about my service, that is something I pay very, very close attention to, and I take action quickly. I would urge, whether you're an auto dealership, whether you are a retail clothing store, take action and do it quickly when it comes down to a negative derogatory comments about your business.
But no, I got you, and that's great, right? And I think just as a small business, staying on top of just the evolving technology and what to move to next. And I know every week we have all the think tanks where you can't just watch videos. Oh, I'm going to put up this chat bot, but you have to stay on top of things. I think that's where I was going with that.
Well, some
And
of
that's
these things will work right out of the box. Some of these chatbots will be sufficient. They may not be the world's greatest thing, but they'll be sufficient right out of the box, just like you would buy a suit off the rack. Now, if you get to the point where you've got so many customer comments coming in that you need a chatbot to handle your customer service, and it can't be one of the 2 people or 10 people that you've hired, then you can spend the money to have it tailor-made for your business, and it will spit out every few hours to every week a report and let you know, thumbs up, they liked it, thumbs down, they did not. If you start seeing too much red on those reports, it's time. You dig in there quickly. Nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud quickly, because you cannot afford for weeks and weeks and weeks to go by and you have done nothing about your poor customer service and people saying negative things about your business. You will kill your business.
Yeah, totally. I know, and it's just, we have the new website going on. It's just like whack-a-mole with all the issues, but that's why you need the supportive community. Love it. Now, as far as finances and financial tracking, and there's QuickBooks, which seems to be a reasonable platform, and just all the tools that Intuit has. But you mentioned here Zero, I guess that's how you pronounce it, and Snyder.
Yep.
I guess Microsoft probably has a series of tools too. Would you mind sharing some of that?
Yeah, so I don't know anyone with a big business that didn't start out with a small business. And so these small business tools, it's one thing when you show up at a flea market and you exchange money right there. And at the end of the day, you've got a little coffee can, you put all the money in and you count it up at the end of the day. And that's the most rudimentary, basic way of handling your books, right? You've got a yellow legal pad, you list what you sold that day, you replace it in your inventory, and you're ready to go the next week. Now, we are moving that up to every day, 24 hours a day in multiple countries now. And you are going to need software. You're going to need the ability to keep books up to the minute. You're going to need 181 different tax reporting, okay? Because if you have a Shopify store that you want to be in the United States, you still have 40 some states that you're going to be selling into, and they're going to have their own tax scheme. They're going to have their own way of you paying their taxes, right? It's very difficult to have a multi-state. Now, add to that 216 countries that you can do business in, okay? Now you really up the degree of difficulty. Except no, you haven't. If you're using one of these financial, and Shopify is super good about this, it does most of these things automatically within the environment of Shopify. WooCommerce has apps that you can download into your store, and it will keep track of shipping. It will keep track of the financial tracking. It'll tell you how many you sold, how many you still have in inventory. Inventory source I mentioned before, it will give you a report, tell you how much you've sold, how much it cost you. That's what I'm talking about here. Now,
Yeah.
Are you still going to have to do bookkeeping at the end of the month? You're absolutely correct. You are. You are going to need to keep track of it week by week by week by week, as a matter of fact. But it takes that from hours in a week down to a few minutes. Just let's make sure that everything got put in. There doesn't seem to be any big, huge mistakes. And now I can wait until the end of the month. I usually spend about 5 days a month if I'm messing with one of my sites. That way, and with the caveat that nothing happened, nothing broke. If everything is everything, and I was able to catch it then I spend about 5 days per business making sure that the financials are all in order. At the end of the year, I take all of this and give it in a report to my accountant. And my accountant has further software that he can very quickly, or I don't know how quickly he does it, but he makes my taxes, pays my taxes, and goes back through and is able to give a accounting, a fair, an accurate accounting of that year's business, which I then match up to what I came up with. And generally, it's dead on.
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
Awesome. Love it. Great, right? Because you have to prepare to scale. You'll start out small, then you'll start getting, right, whether it's data governance in different parts of the world, it's just never ending. And that's why I'm so excited about just making this the Straight Talk Commerce community within the bigger Witty ecosystem, right? Because there are going to be things where at our summit happening November 19th and 20th, we will have somebody who's heavily involved in the AI in policy for UK, for AI and the GDPR and how do you deal with these things, and never ending, and you can't just set it and then it's done because it's going to be evolving, but having the community is so important.
Well,
So
you said something very important. I want to reiterate. I want to underline this. That is really why e-commerce is such a good option for people, Dave, because you can start small. You do not have to go out and raise $1 million, $10 million to start your own business. You can start small. You can start at the flea market by selling cigar box guitars. Shout out to Rich. You can sell socks that you purchased from a thrift store, whatever, right? And then you take that money and invest that into a Shopify store. Now you've just increased to the world your entire pool of potential customers, and you can build from that Shopify store into a WooCommerce store, right? You're still doing e-commerce. You're just doing it on a Woo platform. It's bigger and it encompasses more. And from there, you can then bring in investments. You can bring in partnerships. You can bring in incredible amounts of inventory and incredible amounts of SKUs and sell, and your business just grows and grows and grows. I cannot tell you how many people I know that started in their garage selling soap, selling candles, selling printed t-shirts, and grew that into a multi-million-dollar business. Hundreds that are multi-million-dollar. And a few of them even go to multi-billion dollars. And they started in Apple started in someone's garage. So you can grow these as big as your effort and imagination can carry you.
Totally. Now, marketplaces, right? We talked about setting up infrastructure, right? A lot of this all part of kind of our whole series now. More online marketplaces, right, Wayne? It seems like every minute I see something new. What Etsy,
Well, I think what we're talking about is what people may not know that they really need to know about those different marketplaces. I think that's what you're kind of alluding to. You say, all right, I'm going to open a Shopify store. You see YouTube videos all the time. Open a Shopify store, drop ship this, and they'll tell you, hey, this is how you select a product. This is how you, assuming that that's what you want to do. You want to go and do a Shopify store, for example. What we're talking about here is you need to know what the quirks, the bugs, and the features are of each one of these online marketplaces. Etsy, for example. There are some things about Etsy that you really need to know, some nuances, some bugs, some features of Etsy. So you can decide, is it better for me to make my homemade rugs, sell my homemade rugs on Etsy, or is it better if I go straight over to Shopify? Or should I immediately go into another one of these other Wix or another one of these online marketplaces? Now, while you and I, we can't answer that for people. What we can do, though, is explain to them that if you're looking at Wix, if you're looking at Shopify, if you're looking at Etsy, and you don't know the difference between these platforms, educate yourself. Figure it out. Etsy, generally speaking, is for people with handmade products. If you are making all of the products that you are selling in an Etsy store, whether it be candles, whether it be macrame, whether it be, shirts, if you are making in your garage things, Etsy is the place, because the people that go to Etsy are looking for handmade, handcrafted items. Give you another example. Shopify. Shopify, if you are looking for handmade items, you may go to Shopify. But if you're looking to drop ship maybe some items that are very hard to locate or hard to, the newest gadgets or whatever, Shopify is actually a really good place, whether it be fishing lures and fishing equipment, whether it be survival gear, whether it's women's clothing. Shopify is built so you can have multiple SKUs, many SKUs, right? Different items. You can have a wide selection of those items: blue, black, purple, green, silver, right? And it can be all in one place, and you can automate it. That would be a very good platform for you to go and to avail yourself of that, right? WooCommerce, you're going to want to have, you can have even more products. So 60, 30, 40, 60,000 SKUs, multiple, all leaving and entering your business at the same time. So knowing what kind of business you want to run and knowing what the quirks are of each one of these platforms is going to be paramount before you go jumping in. Because if you start an Etsy store in the Shopify platform, it is extremely difficult to extricate yourself and get yourself over to the correct platform. If you go from a WooCommerce store and you try to go move that over to Shopify, you are going to have to cull your inventory down significantly because it's not going to be able to carry that many products or that many variations of those products. You understand what I'm saying? Knowing you're muted, knowing that you need to do that little bit of research is going to save you so much time and so much headache when it comes to getting started. How's that?
But would you, right, but then there's things like eBay, Amazon. I kind of see where those two, you could probably sell the same product. I agree. Etsy is a little more homemade, specialized products. I mean, with many of these, wouldn't you use, you'd probably want to sell through both of them, or do you need really a team to really maximize those different platforms? Number one. Number two, if you are using some of the drop shipping stuff that Amazon has, can you use that to ship items you might be selling on an eBay?
Well, there are a lot of companies that avail themselves of multiple platforms. I've worked with several different companies that not only had an Amazon store, but they sold things on their Shopify website. So the answer to the question is yes. I worked with a company, Bright My Smiles. My Smiles is teeth whitening. That teeth whitening company sold off their Amazon store, and they also sold off their website. Okay, they chose Shopify, and they came to me and said, we want to go to WooCommerce. And I showed up at work and I looked around and I said, well, where are the other products? You've got 3 different products here. WooCommerce, you're going to pay a lot more money to use WooCommerce, and you have only 3 SKUs. My best advice to you would be to leave this, if this is it, this is all you got, leave it on Shopify and utilize your Amazon. Okay. And they spent a lot of money hiring me to tell them that, Dave. And I could have told them that in probably 15 minutes had they mentioned it in the interview.
Yeah, crazy. What have you? Okay, so I think that's just, these are deeper dives.
Let me give you one more example real quick while I'm thinking of it. Worked with a luggage company, and they had many colors, many SKUs, many different types of luggage, golf bags, travel bags. Okay. All right. 10 days before COVID, they decide that they want to move from a WooCommerce store to Shopify. And I went into the owner's office and said, what are you thinking? Why are you cutting back on? I thought they were going out of business. And he said, no. We just want to move over to the Shopify. They told us it would be easier to do the business if we moved to the Shopify. And I said, Roger, you have 15,000 SKUs. You have 15,000 different pieces of luggage that you want to sell. Moving from WooCommerce to Shopify would not only take more than a year, it wouldn't work. If we got it to work, it would be so slow, so horrible. And so they ended up not doing it. Again, had they mentioned that to me in the interview or brought me into a meeting, I could have explained to them the differences, the nuances between these businesses, types of businesses. There are different categories altogether.
Right. That's crazy. But now with AI, Wayne, I would assume, right? Because when was the luggage place? What year was that?
We're talking, well, COVID. So 10 days before COVID, what was that? 2000,
Right, 2020, early 2020. Now
2020.
you have,
Yep.
right now you have all these generative AI tools. So right, so I think these look, right. I mean, what wasn't possible then could have been a lot easy. Not, not easy, but easier now, right?
Well, it would certainly would have educated. I would love to go back, revisit, and find out if they are using AI. Most companies right now, sadly, are not availing themselves of the AI tools that they could be. And by the way, if that's you, if I am speaking to you and you are not familiar with AI and would like to know more, David and I would like to talk to you as well, because we have the tools. We can direct you to the tools that really would benefit your business and would answer a lot of these questions for you, whether it's gathering new customers, whether it is helping you in logistics, getting your product to those customers, whether it is helping you with your customer service, whatever your pain point is, David and I would like to talk to you. We can help. We can actually make those problems go away just like that, with the power of artificial intelligence.
Well, look, it's not just that, right? It's first of all, I think, and it's we can talk to them. They should be involved in the communities. They can see what Camille talked about. All of these things are evolving. I think what I've found recently, I don't know about you, is a lot of companies maybe they use Microsoft, technology for their business. So then they're using something like Copilot or some of the limited things or different things. They're great. What Microsoft's and the bigger enterprise companies have, but then it's, oh, that's AI. It helps you write a better document. But they're missing a whole world out there, right? That they're not.
That's just barely scratching the surface of what AI will actually do for you. Whether it's, look, there are tools that have AI in it that will help you find the best route to get your products to you and help you find the quickest way of getting those products to your customer. So logistics is an excellent way, an excellent expression of artificial intelligence. There are AI tools that we're using for Straight Talk Commerce, proving their effectiveness on Straight Talk Commerce in gathering people that are clamoring for our message, Dave, in multiple countries: India, Philippines, Germany, Australia, United States, Brazil, Philippines. Shout out to all of you, because we have subscribers from every one of the countries that I just mentioned to you. Hundreds, thousands of people that are trying to get this information, Dave. And we used AI to reach out to them, find out who they were, and present ourselves to them. So we love every one of you guys.
Yep. Love it. Look, I think with marketplaces, I mean, this is ongoing, right? We have a marketplace within the Witty ecosystem. That was something we had started years ago, and probably tech needs update. You can see a lot of that stuff with the new site, the new communities. Very excited. We're in this week now. By the time the listeners listen to this, we'll have crossed over into the new daylight savings time for North America. But it was last weekend. It was daylight savings time for Europe. So we had like all the different time zones, get all whack. And yeah, and it just shows. I think that's one thing that COVID really did. While we've been global for many years, but the world became smaller, right? Which is just an opportunity for our users.
I want to give a special bonus for those people that have listened to us for this this long. If you've gotten to this point in this podcast, I want to give you a little bit of an edge. Okay. I'm going to list in the body of the description ways that you can suss out your competition. So you can find out what your competition is doing from logistics. You can find out what your competition's messages, where they're messaging. You can find out that so many things about what your competition is doing and help you get an edge over those people. over those competitors of yours. It will help you gather more customers because you know where they're getting their customers and you can get there first. It will help you with your messaging, and it's all going to be in the description, buried in the description of this podcast.
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
Totally.
I was kind of saving that in my pocket. I didn't know whether I was going to do that or not, Dave. But I don't want to start naming off of these things. Certainly, you can use Notebook LM, you can use Claude, you can use ChatGPT. It's not what I'm talking about. These are specifically designed. And by the way, if you have a YouTube channel, they work extremely well in helping you suss out what your other channels are doing, so you can either emulate or stay the hell away from making those mistakes. So if you'll look in the description of this video, you've gotten this far, congratulations. Look in the description, and I'm going to, in brackets, I'm going to give you a list of tools that you can use is going to give you a leg up on your competition. How's that?
Love it. I know we had a few different things to talk about with marketplaces, Wayne, but I feel like each one of these things could be a show. And let's just kind of continue maybe the conversation about marketplaces and go in a little deeper on the next episode. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I do think that there are definitely things that we need to go a little bit deeper on, but we got all the time in the world, and our audience gets bigger and bigger and bigger, Dave. So I think, yeah, this would be probably a good place to stop. You got some place to be? Is that what we're talking about?
No, I just think it was a great show. And listen, people want content that they can absorb, and sometimes if we give them too much, I don't want them to lose like stuff they heard at the beginning, right? Because I know we're about to go into some deep stuff.
Well, the next few days, we're going to find out who the president of the United States is, and the entire world is watching to find out who that's going to turn out to be. I do want to encourage people to to subscribe to this channel if you've liked what you've heard. And I want you to engage. I don't want you to like this. I want you to engage with us. Comment, like, or dislike, however you feel. Everybody wants you to like and subscribe. No. If we're screwing up, if we're not telling you what it is you want to know about, we want to know about it. We want to, Dave and I and Ian probably don't know. We want to know if we're doing you right. And if we're not, we're going to fix it. So engage with us. Subscribe and engage. Wouldn't you say that's a better idea, Dave?
I love it. Listen, yes, if you're not getting value, we do not want you to be, listen, we don't want to, time is valuable, right? So we don't want to take anybody's time that's not getting value. Just like at Witty, we don't want anybody to join. I can't take anybody's money if they're not getting value.
You're not getting the value. Absolutely. And by the way, don't subscribe if you don't like babies with beards.
Well, shouldn't it be goatees though? That did confuse
No,
me.
it's a goatee's a type of beard. I got the humor. It was dude, you don't know. I laughed for 2 hours. I laugh every time I think about that.
I hear you. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you, Wayne. Maybe we'll, Ian's missing in action, but we'll send out the search committee.
If anybody sees Ian, please point him back to his podcast.
Well, maybe the person at the farmer's market could send out a note next time they see him wandering through.
God knows what was in that water.
Where are our Pellegrinos? That's what I want to know.
What's that?
Where are our Pellegrinos?
Yeah, I don't know, man. And I you know what? If it's going to make it where he doesn't show up for the next podcast, maybe I don't want to drink it.
Do you think they could have drop ship him and we just didn't get it?
I'm going to drop ship him when I see him.
Have a great week, everybody.